Good morning. It is April 15th, 2025. I am doing an updated garden tour video. This is the second video of my series for this year, and it has been almost 2 weeks since the first video. So we still have lots of violas growing all over my garden, which always brightens my day when I come out here. I actually really like that this one has a different color face. That's kind of fun. Alright, so a few updates today. I'm going to start over here. We've got oregano growing, and I've got potatoes in the buckets. So there's 2 potatoes per bucket. These are potatoes that were growing in my pantry. I think these ones are actually the ones left over that I grew in these buckets last year that had sprouted. And then over here, I was looking for something in the basement yesterday and found a bowl full of sprouting potatoes that I didn't know I had. So this is not the kind of pot I'd actually recommend using. It's what I had available yesterday. I need to get something better. It's not as deep as these ones, which I go all the way to the top with the dirt on these. This I did also cheat and have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potatoes that I stuck in the bottom of this that I will have to probably replant later. You can see they definitely needed to get into dirt from the height of this one, and there's another one there that are kind of peeking through that I'm gonna have to find a proper pot for. This was a temporary solution just to get them out of the pantry. There's oregano. Another update is my husband and I figured out exactly where we're going to be cropping the garden. So last year's videos we were talking about how this fence will be moving, and that's why we had expanded that direction with the intention of moving over so that he will be able to mow back here and it won't be a dead space anymore. It also gives us the option to redo the pool deck, which is not in the best condition. The carpet on it is all kind of dry rotted and gross at this point, and this is really not that sturdy. Like, just that little bit makes it shake like crazy. So you have an adult up there and shakes a lot, you have 2 adults up there, you think the thing's gonna collapse on you. Not very fun. So now with moving the garden over, we will have the option of updating that. Before I walk away from here, we still have this little sneaky tulip over here, and then I think that might have been a daffodil there, so I thought that was really funny. Oh, another funny story. So we have these awful weeds, and I actually just saw one like 5 minutes ago that I'm like, I'll pick that later. And I call them the seed shooter plants. Oh, actually there's a bunch right here. So if you see these things, they're so cute. No, they're really not. So these little stick parts will turn into seeds, and if you bump this, it will literally shoot seeds everywhere. And they spread like mad. Like, these are super invasive. Like, they're really awful. So anyway, in this section that I'm standing in now, I had thousands of these. And when I say thousands, I mean like they were like this big, and they were just everywhere. So I came over here and I'm like trying to pick the little bits in the grass. I'm like, how am I supposed to get rid of all of these? Oh, I wish I could just like take up the entire top layer of soil. And as I start picking, I realize there's still a piece of the weed guard I had forgotten in this section. So I started pulling, and I was able to pull up the entire layer of those awful little things. Oh, here's one here to give you a size comparison. So you see how tiny this is? This entire thing was just these itty bitty little plants. So yeah, hang on a second. Okay, sorry about that. My dog was barking because my toddler had snuck into this area where he wasn't supposed to be, and she was alerting me, which is really funny. So I ended up just peeling all of this off and throwing it out. So the weed guard actually worked in my favor. I actually have removed most of the weed guard throughout the pathways. So it's funny that there was still this piece, and I said I wish I could just peel up the entire top layer, and I was able to do that. Like, what are the chances, man? Okay, so over here, we've got the strawberries coming up. The ones that were in the bucket last year did not come up again. That is very dead. But the runners for that ran over into this bucket and that one last year before I had moved it, and they're still alive, and I'll have to relocate them later because I do not really want strawberries coming up over here. While I've been cleaning up the beds, as you can see, I did take all the sticks and everything out of here yesterday. I did find a chamomile hiding there. The sweet potatoes I had planted last video, or maybe after last video, I can't remember. They ended up getting chewed up just as expected. So they've been pulled out and they're all chewed up, and I kind of saw it coming, so that wasn't a surprise. But the bed that I had them in over here, I have since dug a little ditch, hang on a second. Sorry about that. Chaos with children and dogs together. So I dug a ditch here, and I had acorn squash for dinner. And the peels and the guts and the seeds, I just kind of put in this in a row. And when I did that last year, over there in that end one, I ended up with a bunch of plants. So I'm hoping that happens again this year. And I've put it on the front so that it can just grow all over the fence, and that's totally fine, because when I grew over the fence last year in the back, the animals were chewing on it, but in the front here, I'll be able to see them and pick them and not really have to worry about the animals as much. Speaking of animals, I did put this plastic netting, fencing down. I did use 2 sticks to keep it just in place so the squirrels will not dig, because squirrels are jerks. Going past my pile of tomato cages here, I have some random onion grass growing. Totally random. Over here, I have been planting peas before doing this video. I do have a proper white trellis netting for peas, but of course I couldn't find it anywhere. So I just kind of winged it and used this twine that I had left over from last year. I do need more though. So what I did was I did a row of 10 peas here, 10 peas there, 10 peas there, and I'm cheating and kind of putting some in the middle here. And that's when I ran out of twine, was I was doing like this side and then this side back down, and I didn't make it all the way back down, so I'm gonna have to get some more twine to fill in this space here, and then they can grow up the center of this. And I don't know how great that's gonna be, but I have a lot more peas than I was expecting to have. So I have like a row of 10 here. They're spaced about 2 inches apart as the holes. And let me show you the peas. So what I did to dig a hole was I just have a maple branch here. They're sturdy enough, like I can do this and it's not gonna break. And I just get the stick and I just kind of stick it in there and make a hole. So I call that my planting stick every year when I find a new stick. These peas are from 2020. I did the paper towel method, so I have a wet paper towel in here. And these were planted on April 9th, or started April 9th. And it is now April 15th, and they have little roots and little tiny leaves starting. Let me grab one here to show you. I have 100% germination rate. Was totally not expecting that when I planted 3 bags of peas. So I have those ones from 2023 and these ones from 2020. Did not expect this to happen, but I'd rather have more peas than not enough peas, I guess. So I'm just gonna put these in the holes. Try to do this with a phone in my hand. Easier said than done. So I'm gonna get my little peas here, and I'm just putting them in the hole with the root side down. So I'm gonna fix this one, because this one went the wrong way. And you can see little tiny stems starting here. go root side down. And I think I have just enough to finish this row here. So there's one there. It's stuck on this little root thing. So go in there. And then one more right there. All right. So then I'm going to show you my little trick here that I've been doing. So then I get my stick and I just kind of try and camouflage in where I've planted. The reason I'm doing that is because if squirrels see that you've dug, they are going to dig the same spots, because a squirrel is programmed that if they see signs of digging, they think another squirrel has planted something there and they want to steal it. So if they see obvious dig holes, they're going to dig. So if you can see over here, you can't even tell that I put peas in there. Right now it's a little damp in this spot, so it's a little discolored right here. But by the time I walk away, this should be kind of blended in again, that I won't have any squirrels chewing that up. I would hope. I will have to figure out where I'm putting peas because I've run out of twine. So I might have to go to the store and get some trellising or twine or something and plant all these extra peas. I might continue in this bed and do some kind of twining or trellising in this bed to keep that going. Something I do have to consider, and why I would probably try and stay all in this one bed, is I still need to buy dirt. So if you see on my beds here, this space is like that much. That was filled to the top with dirt last year, and it has settled, as well as pulling out the weeds. You pull out a lot of dirt with the weeds and stuff. So they've settled and they need to be topped off for the year. So I'm trying not to start my planting before I order dirt, and I'm not sure yet how much dirt I'm going to need, but yeah. This bed was actually cleaned up yesterday. Like, I got a rake and I kind of evened it out here, and I know some people like to leave their soil alone, but I like to kind of dig into the top couple layers and get out the sticks and get out the roots, because I had actually like this really hefty root that was like that long, and I was like, I don't know what that came from, but I don't need that in there. I did clean up this bed too and kind of evened it out. I missed a little spot over there, but this is pretty evened out. And then you can see the difference. Like, this bed over here still has like some little weeds growing, little clovers growing there. So I'm gonna have to clean this up and like level it out. There's like right here's the nice hole here. So I'm gonna have to clean up these two beds still. Also on the to-do list is this crap. Ornamental grasses. Everyone who's like, oh, ornamental grasses are great. No, seriously, this is what happens when you have ornamental grasses. They spread like crazy. Okay, none of this was planted here. This is in just the past year that all of this has popped up over the summer, and I didn't have time to dig it out because it's maddening. And then over here, this whole patch was something that we tried to kill, and we put down the tarp, which should hopefully have nothing under it when we take the tarp up. But all of this crap is growing up around the edges, and you can see like it's growing up over there, growing up over there. And this big one over here, we were pointing out yesterday, this spot has been dug out twice. These things are heavy. It takes my husband and I together to lift one of these when we dig it out, and it's back. Like, this is the third time we have to dig this stupid sucker out from that spot. So anyone who says they love ornamental grasses, please don't do it. Like, these are awful. And they're razor wire. So this part here is okay, but all of this down here is literally going to slice you and draw blood if you try and do anything with it without gloves and long sleeves and pants and stuff on. Like, we've literally bled because of this razor wire. Like, it's nasty. So, heads up, ornamental grasses are bad. Don't fall into the, oh, they're great category. And I have to dig more out over here, in fact. Oh, and then something exciting that I just saw yesterday was I bought a peony on clearance at Walmart last year. And we had the drought, and it was in this pot. And I was like, nah, it's not going to live. I'll just leave the pot there or whatever. And like, my peony came back up. So it is my intention to actually dig that a hole and put it in, and not just leave it in the pot there. All right, I think that pretty much sums up, oops, sorry, my finger's in the way, pretty much sums up the garden. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I do frequently check the comments and reply as people ask me things. All right, have a great day, and I will leave you with that.